Hey, what's up? Skinny from Mushroomhead here, and you are listening to the Brutally Delicious Broadcast.
Hey, you're listening to the Brutally Delicious Podcast. I'm Bruce.
And I'm Chris.
Today we've got a really good show for you. We've got Skinny from Mushroomhead. And I don't know if you checked these guys out, but boy, I really love them.
Man, I was just listening to Heresy, and not only is the song killer, but the video is like the girl with the one eye, and it's just so fucked up to watch.
That's the thing I really dig about these guys and bands like this. They put as much time into the image as they do the music, and in the end it comes out to be like something really freaking great.
You know, it kind of reminded me of like a New York City art project.
Yes.
Know.
It's very, very artsy, but so well done.
Oh yeah.
Videos are amazing.
Yeah, I don't mean I just mean the theatrics of it. It seems so.
Yeah.
I know they're from Columbus, but it has a New York vibe to it.
I think so, and I think everything that they do, going back and looking through their videos and listening to this, everything they do is on like this high level of professionalism. It looks amazing,
and it sounds amazing too.
Yeah. So if you want, we'll go ahead and get Skinny on the line, see what he's got to say.
Let's do it.
Hello.
Hey, how are you, man?
What's happening?
Thank you for joining us. I'm Bruce. This is my partner, Chris.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Excellent, man. Thanks for having me on, you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Time. How are things over are you in Columbus or you're in Ohio now?
Cleveland, Ohio. Sunny Cleveland, Ohio.
Sunny Cleveland.
Hello, Cleveland.
Absolutely.
I bet you he's never heard that, Bruce.
I know. Well, I'm very cliche. I'm sorry.
We say it all the time. Spinal Tap, though, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Cleveland. Isn't that the spot where they're going into from the puppet show?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. I don't know how many times we got to tell you our name first, puppet show last, right?
Hey, before we get started, I think we have a mutual friend. Are you friends with Jeremiah?
Jeremiah, are we talking trauma? Which Jeremiah?
Trauma.
Yeah, Trauma. Happy. Yeah, Trauma. Yeah, absolutely. I haven't talked to him in a while, but man, yeah, we were real tight. We did a lot of touring together.
I thought. I know. I have a cooking show as well on the side. It's a heavy metal cooking show, and he's been through here a couple times and done some episodes with me. Really good guy.
Yeah, he's really, really a blast, man. Just a lot of fun. Love that guy. Absolutely.
Cool. I didn't mean to sidetrack you, but anyway, we can talk about Mushroom.
No worries.
So, go ahead, Chris. You want to jump in first?
Oh yeah.
I was just saying, no worries on the trauma talk, man. You talk to him, tell him I said what's up.
Do.
So I just finished watching the video for Heresy, and holy fuck, dude. How in the hell did you get that video shot? That is stunning visually. The song is fucking killer too. But the video itself, I was just like, how in the hell did they get this done?
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. We actually did all that ourselves right here at home in our little studio. We got a sound stage where we rehearse, or, like in this instance, we can build sets and, set them up and film them. So we were kind of stuck doing it ourselves just because of this whole COVID thing. Not many people are working. So that means you can't rent a whole lot of lighting or production style stuff, track and dolly, things of that nature, or even to hire out on extra crew type of people from gaffers to riggers. So we were kind of just stuck doing a lot of the production ourselves, and we kept it kind of tight and just did what we could with it. And, I think a lot of the visual ends up looking that way because of the pacing of the song itself. The music really dictated how the look of that thing was going to be. And, we're fortunate enough to have some of our own gear. So we spend the time playing with film speed, frame rates, and things of that nature to be able to, slow that stuff down and still have it look fluid. It's kind of the Lord of the Rings effect is what we were going for.
So, we were just talking about that before we got on. That whole, I don't know if that is that stop motion? You got some weird thing going on in there that just is crazy looking.
Yeah, some of that stuff is just skipped and removed frames, so it jumps.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and then the other stuff is slowed down, and when it's put back into normal, speed, it's we call it ramping or whatever. There's a lot of those kind of effects as well. We try to stay real practical. So like all those sets are real. Those sparks are real. The ceiling's leaking for real. Not a whole lot of post-production stuff, but thank you again, because we're real proud of it. We really
that's phenomenal.
Happy with the way it looks, man. And it's a killer tune as well. The song, a lot of the vocals were actually recorded at Abbey Road in London.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, last time we played London, we were on a UK tour. We were fortunate enough to book the morning that we're playing London that night. We booked the afternoon and morning at Abbey Road, and we got in there, and all Jackie and J-Man's vocals were recorded at Abbey. So it's funny, even though it's got that killer video, every time I hear that song, I'm sitting right back in Abbey Road.
So I've got so many questions right now. First, I want to tell you that chorus, or that "We Feed the War Machine," is stuck in my head. I can't get that out. That's like an earworm for sure.
Right on.
But second of all, what was it like being in one of the most legendary studios in the world?
That whole thing was surreal. It took a minute until we actually started down and sit down and started tracking. We were in Studio B where they did Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh,
Jesus.
So, right. So just sitting there, it's like, holy shit, this is where it all went down, huh? And then after we, started working, things kind of just got to normal. But when we were just walking around and checking the place out in one of the big rooms, they were setting up for one of the orchestras, because they do so many soundtracks over there. And it was just crazy to see how big some of those rooms are where they actually, record orchestras. It's nuts. And just being there, you think, everyone thinks of the road and they want to get the picture of them walking across Abbey Road. Well, let me tell you, it's nothing but people trying to get that picture all day long. Yeah, it's not. The road is not empty. There's about 100 people trying to get that photo. So it's just pure chaos. So we were like, well, yeah, enough of that. Let's go back to work. We did try to get the photo, though.
Well, you have to,
successful?
right?
No, we were not. There was a few of us that got, 3 or 4 of us walking at the right time. But no, we weren't successful.
They need like a policeman there being like, okay, who's next? Like a little someone to gauge the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of homes and like apartments that live right there. So I would imagine the local residents must just get furious and awful sick of it. Because we were there. We actually got to record there twice, and it was a little over a year apart. And it was the same thing the whole time, just people taking photo. So I imagine it happens every day.
Yeah, you're living there, and at first you're like, "Oh man, I'm living on Abbey Road. This is so cool." And then after a year, you're like, "Oh God, I just want to cross the fucking street."
Right. It's 24 hours a day. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. Yeah. When you guys are writing Mushroomhead records and songs, are you guys thinking of like the whole production behind it? Is it like a thought, or are you writing the songs and then adding the production to it later?
Yeah, I think the production comes later most of the time. Every now and again, someone will have an idea that'll stick with it. For an example, we were just talking about the Heresy. As soon as we had got those main lines down written, before they were, fully recorded at Abbey Road or whatever, that We Feed the War Machine, I had the idea. I was like, man, I just see Jackie putting a baby in a bomb. And this was, almost 2 years ago. And sure enough, we pulled it off. So sometimes, they go hand in hand, but most of the time the audio will dictate the visual. It'll set the mood and the pacing of the editing and just even the way it's filmed, the lighting, so on.
Right. Okay.
There's a lot of synth work in that track. What are you guys using? Are you using hardware synths, software synths, Pro Tools, Logic, Cubase? How are you kind of going about doing that?
We're Pro Tools over here, and there's a lot of like old school MIDI stuff. A lot of the keyboards on this album were tracked with an older Kurzweil, 5200, or so it's MIDI'd out off of a controller. And then there's some software as well. There's quite a few different software plugins that we use for keyboards and synth sounds and textures. Sometimes it's not even like a sound; it's more of a sound design, if you would.
Right.
We're big on that, just because we try to make a lot of the music have space to showcase those elements. I think when there's a lot going on, like a lot of notes being played from drums to guitars and a lot of vocals chopping, it's hard to put in those little elements that kind of define the Mushroomhead sound. So on this album, we really focused on making some space for sounds to be big, but for everything to be heard.
No, that's really cool. And I'm actually kind of shocked to hear you say you use Pro Tools, because often Pro Tools gets this kind of reputation that you can't work with MIDI and Pro Tools because it's terrible. But I've never run into an issue using MIDI and Pro Tools, so I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, we call it PTSD, Pro Tools stress disorder. Around. A lot of us have it. It's just, it's the nature of the beast. Things get quirky and things just slow tools. We got a million names for it.
Yeah.
But yeah. And we run a lot of tools live too, because we have backtracks that go along, with the click track that I play too. So, it's been pretty good to us. I mean, it's kind of standard stuff. And I think that's more of the thing with this camp is everyone's kind of well versed in Pro Tools versus say Logic or something else. So it's easy for us to pass around files and contribute and collaborate easily.
I love that. Thank you. I've been a recording engineer for 20 years, and I've only ever used Pro Tools. So it's like I go into other software sometimes because I also own a virtual instrument company.
Oh, right on.
And so I have to use other software to test, and I always just come back home to Pro Tools because it's just so familiar. It's like an old couch, you don't want to get rid of it because it's comfortable.
Absolutely. Yeah, I hoard TDM rigs. I've got a 6.9 rig, I've got an 8 rig, and then I've got 2 HD rigs, as a matter of fact. So I've got like 4 rooms set up. And pre-production all the way down to mixing. There's an SSL XL desk here, and we do quite a bit of stuff. So like we're heavy into the production, heavy on the nerd end of it. Like the cameras, we own a red.
But I was gonna say, I think in the end it shows, because the product is, like we were talking about before we got on there, so much higher in production value than like 90% of the stuff I see or hear.
Right on. No, and I really appreciate that, because we take a lot of pride in our work, and like even with this the cinematography stuff, it's all shot on red 6K stuff with more high-end lenses. So we've got to have computers that'll handle running 6K footage. So we've got some crazy trash cans that can handle a lot of data. So like I said, we're pretty fortunate. And then real quick, jump back about software. I was going to say we stumbled across this. Vengeance VPS, Avenger VPS, I believe is what it's called. It's a software that it has killer sound design stuff. We stumbled on it late in the game making this album. I wish I would have had it throughout the entire time, but I've got it now, so it's in the arsenal. But if you guys get a chance, check that stuff out. It's awesome.
What's it called? Vengeance VPS? Is it like a virtual instrument?
It's a virtual instrument, and I think it's Avenger. It's Avenger VPS, I think is what it is, or maybe it's Vengeance VPS, one of the two.
Is it
maybe
is it a contact instrument or?
No, it's a third party gimmick. Hang on, I launched tools really quick right here.
No, I'm looking at it right now.
It's killer, dude. And you can buy the little packs for like $70 or $80. I forget what they are. All I know is I spent like $1,200 real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, no, holy shit. This thing is insane.
It's insane, dude. The sounds are just, you talk about sound design and horror movies and just super hardcore techno sounds, and just, it's really fresh and exciting, man. Killer arpeggiators and filters galore. Like it's deep, man. Like I said, we got it late in the game on finishing the album. But like I said, I got it now, so you're going to hear it all over the next album. But you get a minute, check that shit out. You'll really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I kind of got sidetracked from the interview here because you brought this up. And I'm reading about it.
He's gone down the Sweetwater.
Sorry. I'll get back. I'm back on track.
Yeah, no, don't worry. They'll send you a little bag of candy. I get it.
Yeah. So you said you guys were using. Bruce is going to get mad at me because I always go down the tech aisle, but you were shooting with a red at 6K. Mm-hmm. To get that slow motion footage, were you guys shooting at like 60 and slowing down to 30?
48.
You were shooting at 48 and then down to 30?
Back to 24.
Back to 24.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
So all that was shot at 200%. So those guys actually had to sing with it twice as fast.
Yeah.
Still maintain the emotion.
Oh, wow.
Which is now I get it, because in Lord of the Rings, they shot it at 48 and then slowed it down to 24 to get that ghostly effect in some scenes.
Yes, so that's what we did for almost the whole thing.
Now, what video card are you using to run 6K?
Believe it or not, we don't have anything special. That little trash can that we have back in the one room is screaming fast. I think it's like 16 core or 12 cores.
Oh, yeah.
It's gigantic. It's ridiculous. And if you get more than like 7 or 8 lines of 6K going, it'll start to bother you. But I don't really work like that. I'm not a messy guy. I like to go through my shots, pick what I like, and then organize. And a lot of times, I'll write the shots out. I'll have a shot list and then put it together and then say, well, you know what? We need to relight that. We need to reset and redo that. So like as an example, I think we shot for 7 days and edited for 5. But in between those days, there was days off, and we literally went back and refilmed the same shot. We say, there was a shadow or something we didn't like, and just moved a couple of things. So, thank God we have our own space and the time and the patience to do it.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean, and right now, all we have is time. Like, everyone's just sitting around. You can't tour. You can't really do much. Right. So
we're going to go heavy on the videos. That's what we decided. Let's just spend the summer making some really compelling visuals and put it to our music. Because I think that the album is very cinematic in and of itself. When you listen to it, it's pretty deep. I mean, I know it's long, but some of those songs you can just close your eyes and there's a lot of imagery that just happens naturally. Like I said, it's a very cinematic album. And I'm really, really excited for it, man.
It's heavy, but it's catchy. That's what I keep saying. Like that chorus still sticks in my head. I'm sitting there talking to you, and I don't know what her name is, but I see her singing "We Feed the War Machine" over and over with the one eye, and it's stuck in my head. Yeah.
Jackie LaPonza. We call her Miss Danger.
There you go. Hey, I've got a question for you. So you guys are super theatrical, and I usually ask this of most theatrical bands. What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you on stage?
Oh man,
because I'm sure there's some.
Yeah, but it's kind of a tough question, because like so much stuff happens, you kind of forget about a lot of it. I don't know about crazy, but there's a lot of moments where things malfunction, and there's a lot of moments where you can't read facial expressions.
Because of the masks.
Yeah. So you kind of don't really know what it's pilot to bombardier. You don't know at all. But a couple of summers ago, we did the Hell in Heaven Fest in Mexico City, and there was 46,000, and that was like our biggest crowd ever. And we just flew in to do the one-off. We were part of the festival. There was a 3-day festival or whatever. And there's this tune we do live. It's called "We Are the Truth." And one of Jackie's things is in the second verse. She always stands on the crowd, walks out, in clubs and, smaller festivals. It's fine. I was like, I don't know. We're in Mexico City. It's a big crowd. You probably shouldn't do that. Next thing you know, she's like, I can't even see her. She's like the size of like a Star Wars figure or something. She's so far out, and she just kept going and kept going. And I'm like, she's never going to make it back in time. But the wireless microphone held out, and she was singing, standing on top of the crowd.
That's really cool.
Yeah, 46,000 people. It was just insane. Took her a while, though. The song ended before she got back. That's for sure.
That's such a cool festival. It was probably hot as hell, too.
Yeah, it was really fun. I remember it was Fear Factory, Mushroomhead, and Ghost, right in a row on the way the stages were flip-flopping. It was killer, man. It was an honor to be part of it, but it was crazy watching her, basically crowd surf 46,000.
I had the pleasure of meeting the organizer of that event in 2016. He was on 70,000 Tons of Metal, and I was there, and I was drinking beer on the beach, and I'm just chatting with this guy. What do you do? Oh, I run Heaven and Hell in Mexico. And I was like, what's that? I didn't even know.
Right on. Yeah, it's huge, man. It was really cool. Rammstein was actually the headliner.
Fuck.
So it was amazing because it's Mexico, so their pyro laws are a little more loose. So the show was just off the chain, man. It was great.
A friend of mine was down there videoing it this year, and he said there's no sound check rules. He's like, I was at my hotel at like 1 a.m, and they were doing sound check. I could hear it. And I was like 8 blocks away.
Yeah, it's crazy. Things are definitely a little more loose there.
Yeah.
Was it difficult? Was it difficult playing in front of 46,000 people as opposed to like a normal Mushroomhead crowd? Did you have separate nerves, or was the show a show?
It's weird because you get that mask on, and for me, I play to a click track as well. So when I got the in-ears on, I got the mask on, and if I don't look up, it's really no different, But sometimes, even doing this 27 years, I think that was 2015, 2016. We did that festival. But man, now when you see that size of crowd, I don't care who you are, that'll take your breath away. So it was a lot of just look down and play,
I'll enjoy it when it's over.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly how it was too. It's like, wow, we made it through, So when it's that insane, all those butterflies come back. At least for me, like you get up there and it's like, wow,
oh sure,
it's crazy, yeah. So yeah. Personally, that's a hell of an experience.
Oh yeah,
I know you said you.
Go ahead, Bruce.
Sorry. I was gonna say, I know you said you've been at this 27 years or so. Do you ever imagine you'd still be doing it?
It's weird because I never really thought of it any differently. I've been getting up every day for 27 years and saying, how can I pimp out my band today? What can we do, to keep keeping on, and that's it. I'm very blessed to be able to make art and music and, have a really good friends and have, a life surrounded by creating stuff. I don't take any of this for granted at all. And it's not like I just look at it and say, oh, I'm in a heavy metal band and I'm just a drummer. No. I'm an artist and I'm very fortunate to do what I do. When I look back, it's crazy to think it's been 27 years. I have no idea where it went really fast. Right. But it is kind of cool to look back and say, well, part of that was these 8 albums.
Yeah,
you do have something to show for it. And so
touring and my God.
Yeah. A lot of experiences being all over the world and stuff, like I said, I'm really blessed, but never really thought of it like I'm going to do this forever. It's just, this is just what I'm doing.
Right. That's great.
When I was listening to this, it reminded me almost like a New York City art show, like a theatrical art show. So I was like, oh, they must be from New York. And then I look it up. I'm like, Ohio?
Cleveland.
What? Where does this come from? So did you get influenced by the New York art scene in any way, or is this just something that happened just by way of it happening?
No, I think this album is just a little bit more honest and more cohesive, I think, than some of our past efforts. I think it's not just like by an art show or theater, so to speak, but I think that mentality has kind of always rang true throughout what Mushroomhead was trying to accomplish. As an example, like Pink Floyd The Wall is a humongous influence on all of us. And it always has been. Doesn't even matter the lineup. Everyone has a gigantic respect for that. And just as a whole and as an entirety, the way it's presented, there's more than music. There's more than just a movie. There's a lot of emotion that's captured, and it translates really well. So I think we tried to, use that type of thing more so than, like Broadway or something, Right.
Yeah. No, I don't mean Broadway. I mean more like Andy Warhol.
Sure. Because it's very much that collective. It's a lot of artists, putting things together and collaborating and ultimately defining a scene.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Bruce?
Pretty cool. I don't have anything else. That was pretty great, though.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time talking with us today, and good luck with the record, man. I'm going to be sharing it everywhere today.
Awesome, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. We're really proud of it. And I can't, thank you guys enough for your time and to help spread the word. Really, really appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you guys and without the fans. Absolutely, man. It all really matters. And, thank God we've got, something else to put out and talk about besides the the Bologna virus, right?
Yes. You know, when we were sitting there today, I finally got on. I was telling you, I don't know if I was telling you, but we do these podcasts like once or twice a month where we can fit them in all day. And I look forward to it because my real job is dealing with all this nonsense that's going on outside. And this is like a total escape getting to deal with, talk to some great people and talk metal and be sidetracked for a day. It's wonderful.
Absolutely. All the blessings are out there. It's not all doom and gloom,
No, you're 100% right. I love your attitude.
Yeah, we're real optimistic about the future. Hopefully the Roaring 20s come back and show the world what it's all about here.
Beautiful. You have a fantastic evening and be safe.
All right, thanks, you guys. Take care.
And I'll enjoy that software. Thank you.
Absolutely, dude. Check it out. Take care.
You send him down a wormhole for sure.
Oh, I'm dead. My wife's gonna kill me.
We'll see you later.
Hello out there. Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hyden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.